Miserable. Are you performing somewhere?
Graham, where are you performing?
I'm doing the Progressive Comedy Tour with Ron Placone. We're going to Tempe, Arizona, May 9th, Lake Havasu, May 10th, Vegas, May 11th, and San Diego, May 12th. You can go to the Facebook page, which is Progressive Comedy Tour, or my website, grahamelwood.com. Ron and I doing progressive jokes on stage.
Fantastic. Progressive Comedy Tour. All right, go get them, you guys. So I want to... The reason why we have a show here is because the mainstream news sucks so hard, right? That's why. They don't tell you the truth about progressives. They weren't even allowed to cover Bernie Sanders at MSNBC. They weren't even allowed to. And Rachel Maddow and Chris Hayes and Lawrence O'Donnell aren't going to tell you that. You know who will? Ed Schultz. And that's why he got fired. So if you have character and integrity and you want to actually tell the truth to the people who tune into you for the truth, you will be fired from MSNBC. And that's why we have a show. So here actually is what's been going on. And so I want to show you the rest, but the way they've been covering Gaza, Chris Hayes covered Gaza correctly on MSNBC for 3 whole minutes. They let him cover it for 3 whole minutes. Isn't that amazing? So just so you know what's been going on in Gaza, you know that it's an open-air prison. It's an apartheid state. It's Israel is now doing to the Palestinians, ironically, what people did to them, right? So they're oppressing people with no power because of their ethnicity. And that's why Israel was created, to protect Jewish people from just that sort of thing. And now they're doing the same thing to Palestine. Now, you can have arguments about who's to blame, what's whatever, but what's happening right now is one side has all the power and another side has none. So the people with all the power, it's incumbent upon them to act morally. The people with the power, it's upon them. They have greater responsibility in how this situation... So now these people, they've just been 30 years. They've just been kept in like this. And every UN resolution condemns the settlements and what's been going on. And Jake Tapper will tell you that's because everybody's anti-Semitic. But here's what they started protesting finally by the wall. You see the wall? So the soldiers started to start picking them off. So the soldiers started just like shooting them. See, they're running and see they're just kind of shooting. That's real gunfire. They're shooting them. So that was happening. Oh, shoot him again. So they've been using live. So let's shoot this guy. They're all praying. Let's start shooting them, which is what they did. That guy just got shot. So that's what they've been doing, right? And they killed journalists. I don't remember it being mentioned at the White House Correspondents' Dinner that the Israeli soldiers are sniper firing live rounds and killing journalists and killing unarmed people who are. The New York Times covered. Here's some horrible headlines. How about that? Imran Siddiqui tweeted this out. This is what complicity looks like. The New York Times, urged by a Hamas leader, hundreds of Palestinian protesters tried to cross the security barrier from Gaza to Israel on Friday. Israel troops defended the fence with lethal force. So the Israelis, they're just defending themselves with lethal force. They're just defending themselves. Urged on by a Hamas leader. What is wrong with that? So, again, this is why we have a show, because the New York Times sucks like this.
And what's so offensive is they just sit there and put out this irresponsible false tweet, knowing people would just scroll through and see that and go, oh, well, Hamas is stirring things up.
They're stirring it up again, huh?
You know, what are they supposed to do?
Sharif Kudos tweets, Israeli troops shot dead 3 more protesters in Gaza today. The death toll is now over 40 dead and 5,000 wounded. Here's how the New York Times leads that story compared to Reuters. Here's the New York Times. Urged on by Hamas leader who told them not to fear death, but to welcome martyrdom, hundreds of Palestinian protesters stormed the Gaza security barrier and tried to cross into Israel on Friday.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
They have no
I
choice.
hope they killed them.
Yeah, they have no choice.
I hope they killed them. And here's how Reuters reported it. Israeli troops shot dead 3 protesters along the Gaza border on Friday. Gaza medics said hours after the United Nations human rights chief criticized Israel for using excessive force against demonstrators. That's a little different how they reported it at Reuters.
Huh.
I don't know what to believe, Jimmy.
I think it's the Palestinians, or I think it's they're told not to fear death. They're the other.
Yeah.
They're like Al Qaeda. They don't have the same values we do. They don't fear death. They don't value their own life. They're suiciders.
They want to go meet their virgins. They always bring up that one.
Oh yeah.
Going to meet the virgins against the noble Israeli soldiers who, let's not forget, Israel won't acknowledge the Armenian genocide. Weird.
But look, it's hundreds of Palestinian protesters. They stormed. Sounds scary. Armed with nothing. They stormed military people with guns. Oh, I wonder what happened. Military people shot them dead. Oh.
If you're unarmed and you storm a bunch of military guys, they can just grab you and tie you up and throw you down. If you have no weapons.
You have no weapons.
There's nothing. You're not a threat.
Right. They could gas you, right? They could pepper spray you.
Yeah.
They could do all that stuff they did to people up at Standing Rock. They could do that.
They could shoot you with a beanbag gun.
Yeah.
They could just trip you and you'd fall down and then a couple guys jump on you and then they put handcuffs on you and it's over.
Look at that again. Urged on by a Hamas leader who told them not to fear death, but to welcome. See, they're the crazies. Mm-hmm. They're the crazy jihadists. They're not like you. They're suicide themselves. They don't have the same values as you do. I hope someone shoots them dead. Oh, well, if you read Reuters, Israeli troops shot dead 3 protesters along the Gaza border on Friday, hours after the United Nations human rights chief criticized Israel for using excessive force against demonstrators. Now, this is not anti-Semitism. This is us supporting an unbelievable right-wing government that is slaughtering people. That's what this is. Shooting journalists. But of course, the journalists at New York Times don't say that. Isn't that something?
This is what America does. We support the Saudi army who just used chemical weapons in Yemen.
That's right.
They've used chemical weapons in Yemen.
Yes. That's a fact.
That's a fact.
We use chemical weapons in Iraq.
We use them in America.
We use them in America. So that's why we have a show, because the New York Times is never going to tell you the truth about war. They're never going to tell you the truth about foreign policy. And that's why a jag-off nightclub comedian, the fact that I know the truth, that's how I know they know the truth. The people at the New York Times, they know what I know. They know what I know. I don't have a special gift. They choose not to know what I know. They choose to ignore what I know. And that's why we have a show. And that's why they suck. And that's why our country is where it is, because the Fourth Estate is now owned by the people we're supposed to be protesting and investigating. We're supposed to be protesting and investigating Jeff Bezos and breaking his company up. But now he owns the paper. Mr. Potter owns the paper. Dr. Evil owns the paper. That's why we are where we are. And now they're trying to shut us down. Now they're trying to get rid of independent media. Now they're smearing us left and right because turns out we are a threat. Remember I said a couple weeks ago, as soon as we become a threat, they'll try to smear us. They did it. They did it. This is the second time. First time was Washington Post. Now it's CNN. This little jag-off show, they take time out of their fucking day to go after. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? Because they have to discredit people telling you the truth because they're not allowed to tell you the truth. And then how are they going to get those viewers? How are they going to get you back? How are they going to get young people, again, to read their stupid paper or watch their stupid TV shows? Well, they got to discredit shows like this. So please make sure you're subscribed. Even if you think you are, you probably aren't. It only takes a second to check. Check and make sure you're subscribed. And then make sure you click that bell, because then they'll give you a notice when we drop a video. They probably won't, but you got to try. So click that bell. And if you could become a patron, we give you hours of bonus material every week. Our next live show is July 1st in Portland, Oregon. July 1st. For a link for all of our shows, go to jimmydorecomedy.com. And we're on Steam It. We're steaming it right now. And we do a live chat, solid chat, every Saturday at 2 p.m. You can ask us questions. We'll answer them back. Every Saturday, 2 p.m. Pacific.